Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is going to be issue 10, and I don't really have anything else to say other than like, subscribe, comment, and let's get right into it. Alright. So it seems like we're in the middle of a battle between Doc Seismic and Invincible. And Doc Seismic is saying, "You thought you could stop me? You're up against Doc Seismic, kid. I haven't even heard of you." And Invincible says, "The name's Invincible. I'm sure you won't have any trouble remembering it after I kick your..." And just then, Doc Seismic causes an earthquake, or it just shoots a blast, I'm not sure which, and it knocks Invincible into the earth. And he says, "That shut you up." Invincible bounces back and says, "Yeah, well, it was a cheesy line anyway. I'm still working on my witty banter, to say the least. Everyone's a critic." Doc Seismic releases another blast, and it knocks Invincible away. And Doc catches himself, or he's falling and he catches himself. And he says, "Young fool, that will be a lesson. That will be a lesson he won't soon forget. I should have invested in a jetpack long ago." Excuse me. Invincible flies back up, grabbing him, and says, "Don't worry, I'll give you a lift straight to jail." I beg to differ, as Doc releases yet another blast in Invincible's face, as if he's not learning his lesson. He knocks Invincible down. Actually, no, he knocks himself down. He makes Invincible let him go. And Invincible flies after him and says, "Hold tight, I'll save you." And Doc says, "I will not be defeated by the likes of you." And he attacks Invincible again. And Invincible says, "No." Invincible gets knocked into the wall, and he loses Doc. Doc seems to fall into the center of the earth, and Invincible says, "Crap." He flies up, looking around. It appears that he's at Mount Rushmore, and the crowd nearby is clapping and cheering for him. And one of them says, "You saved our lives, Invincible. If it weren't for you, he'd have destroyed Mount Rushmore and us along with it. Thanks. Don't mention it. Just doing my job. I could get used to this," as he flies away. Back at Mark's house in the middle of the night, Nolan comes into the kitchen saying, "Mark? Oh, hey Dad. Did I wake you?" "No, son. We need to talk." "Come on, Dad. I know Mom put you up to this. She's been bugging me to death about stuff ever since Amber and I started going out. I'm just not in the mood for any birds and bees talk right now. I've got school tomorrow." Nolan just looks on, disappointed. And then later he's in bed with Debbie, and it's quiet, and all of a sudden there's beeping, and he whooshes off so quick that the covers come off of Debbie, and it wakes her up, and she says, "Damn, beeper." At Mark's school, He's with Eve, and Mark says, "So, I'll see you in physics later? Wouldn't miss it for the world." Later, "There you are," William says. "I've been looking all over the cafeteria for you. How is it that you just roam free here? Do you have any classes?" Mark says. "Not as far as I'm concerned. Amber, Amber know about you and Red over there?" "What? That I'm eating lunch with a friend? I haven't run it by her. I know you find it hard to believe, but Eve and I are just friends. She's had a boyfriend for the longest time, and now that he's out of the picture, she's just weird. And you've got Amber now, so who cares? Anyway, I was wanting to know if you wanted to hit the Burger Mart with Chad and me since you've bailed the last few times." "Sure, but I've got to run by the comic shop after school to get my books. I could meet you guys there after I go to the shop, or you guys could come with me." "Me? Go to a comic shop? No way. I'm already enough of a geek without being seen at a comic shop. And yet, I'm the one with the girlfriend. Funny." Back at Mark's house during the day, Debbie's at the table reading a newspaper, and Nolan comes in, and Debbie says, "You home for the day?" "Somehow, I doubt it." "Sheesh, what gives? You've been all over the place all this week. I've barely seen you." "Well, to be honest, this new Guardians of the Globe isn't nearly as effective or efficient as the old one. I've been picking up their slack." And just then another beep 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 goes off. "Well, here we go again. Duty calls. I love you." And Nolan looks back for a second, and he says, "I love you too." Elsewhere, we see, it looks like at the base of the Guardians of the Globe, we see the detective. No, this looks like the knockoff Hellboy, saying, "Trust me, I have clearance," to one of the soldiers guarding the entrance. Damien Darkblood, that's his name. Damien Darkblood, demon detective. "I work for people your bosses' bosses aren't important enough to meet." He's allowed inside, and he just grunts. Inside, a lady with one arm and a guy with an eye patch are inside, and the lady says, "Look at what the cat dragged in. You know, the boss threw us on this for a reason. You're just not cutting the mustard. Your investigation is taking too long. There was a time when I would have eaten your face for speaking to me that way. Be thankful that I've changed my ways. I'm here looking for additional evidence I may have missed on my first pass, because as you so kindly pointed out, I'm out of leads and my investigation is going nowhere. I'd advise you to stay out of my way." The lady looks shocked at his response and just says, Elsewhere at prison, we see Black Samson being escorted by a guard, and he says, "He's right up here. Stay back away from the class." "Sure," Samson says. Looks like he's visiting his butler, and he says, "Sanford, I'll leave you two alone," the guard says. The butler says, "It fits you well, the costume. I hope I didn't damage it in my little escapade." "Oh, Sanford, I wish you hadn't done this for me." "I did it all for you, sir. I couldn't bear another glimpse of what they turned you into. I would have killed every one of them had they not already been dead. Still, they are dead, so I've really got nothing to complain about. I'm part of the new Guardians of the Globe. I've got some influence. I'm doing what I can to get you out of here. You need counseling, not incarceration. I would certainly welcome the chance to leave this place. It looks like we're jumping to the comic shop, the mall, comic shop, yeah. And Mark is seeing a huge line and he asks, "What's going on? What's this line for?" Huh? Oh, Flip Schae, the creator of Science Dog, is here signing books. And Mark says, "Really? Yep, pretty cool, huh? Where are you?" And then Mark comes back with some books, or a box. And the guy says, "Weirdo. What? Where'd you... I thought you just left." "Nah, I just went and got my comics out of my car." "Well, that was quick." Clearly, Mark just flew away. And Mark waits in line. I'm assuming he's getting his book signed. And when he finally gets to meet the author, he says, "Hi, Mr. Schae. It's great to meet you. I brought a lot of stuff. You don't have to sign it all if you don't want to." "Lay it on me, kiddo. You paid hard-earned money for the stuff. The least I can do is deface it with my illegible scribble." "Cool." Mark says, "I gotta say, man, I'm amazed at how you get these things out on a monthly basis. It seems like so much work to do in such a short amount of time, and you're never late. Actually, a lot of times, I'll just reuse art that I've already done over and over. It's good for dramatic pauses and when stuff doesn't really change much from panel to panel. Most people don't even notice." And then Mark stands there for a second and he says, "Don't you think that's kind of cheap?" And the author sits there like, "Not really." Elsewhere, we see Omni-Man saving people on a roller coaster from a chicken octopus monster. As the Omni-Man is carrying the coaster cart, he says, "Don't worry, kids. You're safe now. I'll check up on you after I'm done." As he lands, places them far away from the danger, and he whooshes back in to fight the monster. The monster roars at him, and he begins to fight. And then right after, and just like that, it's over. And Omni-Man says, "It's okay. It's over. Everyone is safe now." Just then, Immortal crashes into Omni-Man. And he gets up saying, "Why? Why did you do it?" And Omni-Man flies him up into the sky, into the clouds where no one can see. And he says, "I don't know how you did it, but you should have stayed dead." Immortal punches him away, and he says, "I want answers." Back at the comic shop, we see two guys talking. It looks like Mark with the person working the register. The guy at the register says, "Yeah, he was just in town and asked if he could sign here. If we had known more ahead of time, we would have advertised." Mark says, "Man, that was so cool. You want a comic shop news? Always. Hey man, can you turn that up?" As he's looking at the TV screen. It was, and the news reporter reports what's going on, saying it was shortly after the monster was defeated that Omni-Man, defender of democracy, was attacked by what eyewitnesses are describing as the recently deceased Guardians of the Globe member, the Immortal. And the person working the register says, "Later, man, you have a nice," and he turns around and sees Mark gone. The news reporter continues saying, "It was then that Omni-Man allegedly shot out of the crater you see behind me, sending himself and the immortal into the skies where we can't see them. It is unclear whether or not this is the immortal. He wouldn't be the first hero to return from the dead, but as experts are still skeptical. It is unclear if this has anything to do with the murder of the Guardians of the Globe." And back at Mark's house, Debbie is hearing the news too. "What is clear is that the attack on Omni-Man was completely unprovoked and unexpected, and that whoever is behind this, immortal or not, is evenly matched with Omni-Man. With the fight taken to the skies, there is no way to monitor the proceedings. We may never know exactly what's going on today. We'll bring you updates as they come in. We now return you to your regularly scheduled program." Up into the skies, we return to the fight, and the immortal says, "Why, damn it? Why did you kill them? I'll beat it out of you if I have to." Omni-Man says, "I killed you once, I can do it again," just as Invincible flies in, and Invincible freezes. And Immortal yells, "You're welcome to try." And Omni-Man punches a hole through Immortal's gut and slices him in half with his hands. And then Invincible says, "Dad?" And Omni-Man turns around with blood all over his arms. And he just says, "Son, we need to talk." All right, guys, we're going to stop there. Looks like things are finally heating up a bit. Remember, like, subscribe, leave a comment. It really helps the videos get more traction and support the channel. Till the next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.